Looking for a car you can count on? At AutoMasters, we offer a hand-picked selection of used and certified pre-owned vehicles priced right and ready to drive. With easy financing and expert service, AutoMasters is your trusted dealership from test drive to keys in hand. AutoMasters, driven by trust, powered by service. Visit our website at automasters06.com or stop by today. And oh yeah, tell them Sonia sent you.
She say, sports. She say, sports. She say, sports. She say, sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome coach, author, speaker, and mentor devoted to developing young athletes, Jimmie L. Lucas.
Hey, how you doing today?
Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. So we're just going to get right into it.
Okay.
So, Coach, how did your love for sport begin?
Whew, man. Well, I actually grew up playing soccer. That was my first
Really?
love. Played soccer all through elementary school, middle school, even in high school, and really didn't really get into playing basketball until senior year in high school, and then on in to college, and then when I went overseas to play.
Wow. So so it was always in you. You made it to the pros within what, 5-6 years?
Right. Yep. What happened was because I played soccer, I just had great feet and great hands.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that got me on the court, and then once I got on the court, it was hard for them to get me off.
I love it. That is awesome. So, and I'm gonna probably call you Jimmy and Coach interchangeably. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, okay. So, Coach, you played pro ball overseas, as you mentioned, and you brought your talents back to Mississippi, where you coach and train young athletes. You founded Discipleship Hoops. Tell us, what is the core mission of Discipleship Hoops?
Well, it's really just that, just to disciple youth, and in three areas: the holistic, areas, spiritually, physically, and mentally, and then just to get them ready for not just to play. Basketball is the byproduct, right? What we do is we just develop character, and then as we develop character, you just become a great basketball player in the midst of it.
Exactly. I love that. So let me ask you this before I go to the next question. So did you have someone like that in your life while you were in high school or growing up, a mentor, someone that was showing you how to be not only a great athlete, but a great person, a great individual?
Actually, no, which is actually why I started
Wow.
started when I got overseas, was because I was like, man, I saw all these kids. I was in the military community, and saw all these kids, who may have had fathers deployed, and I was like, man, I remember being them, wanting a male role model in my life to just and so I was like, man, be the change you want to be, right? Be the change you want to see, and then so that's how it all started.
That's awesome. So how does the program define inside out development?
Well, because it's like, bad as some of us want to, you can't play basketball forever, right? I think LeBron James is defined father time.
He is defined. Yes.
Right. It's at some point you have to hang up your fingers, and then it's like, then what? Right? Then who are you?
Right.
And so it's like I say, it's inside out, because we develop character first, right? And basketball is, one of my favorite quotes is that it's not about all the stuff you've obtained, but who are you becoming while obtaining all that stuff?
Exactly. And you know what? I'm glad LeBron, great example. Not sure. I don't believe his father was in his life growing up, and not sure what type of mentors he had. But when I say and I'm a Michael Jordan fan for life since I was 12, even before he was at the Bulls, I was a North Carolina fan. So I hate when people compare, because there's no comparison. However, I can say about LeBron, I mean, he seems like an upstanding young man. He started the school for the kids.
Mhm.
He's a producer on this side. He's doing different stuff outside of basketball. So when he does retire, like you said, it's inside out. He has something else to fall back on. I don't know if I can really see him as an analyst, but I can see him. You know what I mean? So
Right.
great example. Great example. Yeah. So how is spiritual growth balanced with athletic training?
It comes first. Everything we do is based on our spirit, our spiritual insights, and our just
Mhm.
um, like I teach boys and girls. You have to be thankful. You have to be humble. You have to be grateful for the talents that you have, because at any given moment it could be taken from you. So you have to honor God by honoring Him through your play.
Mhm. So let me ask you this. So if a child comes to you and they're not per se a Christian, Muslim, or um, they're Hinduism or whatever, how do they still get the principles? It's just principles are principles, not necessarily. Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. So no, I believe that I have a gift and a calling for to do two different things. Like you have people that are that that know God, that read the
Mhm.
Bible, but just not there quite yet, right? Just not
Right.
to come go all the way in for So there's that, but then you have those that that blame God for a lot of things that are going on in their life, right?
Yep.
So you can't have it's not a cookie cutter approach, right?
Gotcha.
It starts with identity.
Mhm.
These days are dealing with so much more than we ever had to deal with
Oh, absolutely.
as children. So I start with identity, and who are you? Are who do you
Hmm.
say you are? Who do you allow other people to say you are? And then we build from there.
Gotcha. I love that. So, what character traits, I'm sorry, do you aim to develop both on and off the court?
Was one is just gratitude, just being gratitude. Like some have parents that go all out. They take them
Mhm.
to practices, they take them to games, they do, having to work 2, 3 jobs just to afford all that.
Mhm.
Really, truly, like understand that it's not a gift, right? Like you're not just because you wake up, you're not entitled. It comes from somewhere, and so just to be humble, be grateful, and just have a lot of gratitude, like that.
So, this generation of children are very different from when we were growing up. They, like you said, when they wake up, it's like it's your obligation and it's your privilege to do this for me, to give me this, to get, I want. And so that's good that you're teaching gratitude and thankfulness. And we heard the word humble quite a bit this weekend regarding Shador. A lot of people don't really understand or don't know the definition of humble, because the kid is humble. He's not a bad kid at all.
Right.
Dion has done, I think, an exceptional job with his children. He's a great father. Does he have issues or problems or flaws? Yes, he does, because we all do. But
Right.
for the most part, he has always tried to love his children. So tell me, what are your thoughts on what happened this weekend regarding people saying he's not humble, he's too cocky? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think like we all thing we see is what the media puts out. We don't
Right.
know what like I mean, a lot of times I tell the kids like I saw your last post, and I know what you're going. I'm here, you taking pictures and videos for your next post, but who are you in between the two posts? Right? And so we don't see that. Like I mean, we only see what the media allows us to
Right.
see. And I think that because of that, because we only see the either the high or the low, then we form our opinion based on that, when we really truly don't know what's going on or not going on. And and then I mean, look, go back to LeBron, same way. A lot of people criticize him for how he was able to get Bronny onto the Lakers.
Hmm.
And my thing is, like, as a father myself, any leverage that I have to put my son on, I'm gonna use that leverage to put him on.
Absolutely. And they would too.
Right.
I mean, now I will say this. I didn't think he should have been drafted. He should have just walked on because he took a spot from somebody who really, really was better than him. However, I'm like you, it's nepotism at its best. And I don't have a problem with it because the other side of the world, they do it all the time.
Right.
And so I don't see a problem with it at all. I
Right.
don't.
Yep.
So you're right. You're right. So how is success measured beyond wins and stats?
Again, who you become, who you become in the wins and who you become in the losses. I had a mentor tell me that when they go to recruit players, they go and recruit and watch players when they're up by 20 and when they're down by 20. But then they can see their character. Right?
Yeah.
And once they see if they're a high, if they still a great teammate, if they still being, positive and all those types of things, regardless of what the score is, then they go look at their stats. And so that's the model that I follow.
Madison Booker was on the show last week, and she said something that was so profound to me. Her dad used to play ball with her when she was a little girl, and he used to beat her all the time. And she would be so upset. And I asked her a similar question to this. How did she handle the lows or the losses, the setbacks? And she said, when I played with my dad, he would beat me. However, she said her dad said one day he got off of work and she was waiting on him to play.
Right.
And she was 7 years old. And that says a lot about how he was raising her to show her, you're not going to win all the time.
Right.
So then, like you said, it's best to try to have the same attitude because there is going to be wins and losses in your life in anything.
Right.
Whether
You're
it's sports. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, so a lot of times we try to find happiness in wins. Or we try to chase happiness, and it's something that can't be obtained. And you can't obtain happiness because it's happenstance. Like when you win, you feel happy, but when you lose, you feel sad. Like, so one thing we teach is joy. You have to have internal joy that regardless of what's going on externally, internally, you're still the same person.
Correct. That is correct. Absolutely. And well, as far as for me, because I am a Christian, my joy is Jesus Christ. Because happiness, that's like you said, that's fleeting. It can be happy one minute and sad the next. So absolutely. Right. So Coach, are parents and families involved in the discipleship journey?
Oh, absolutely. They are. We have a weekly newsletter. We have where we send out daily or 3 times a week devotions and chats groups. They're involved in because a lot of parents that I deal with, their kids do multiple sports, whether it's softball, baseball, soccer, and basketball, run track. And so it's important that I try to instill in them that the importance of rest, the importance of prayer, and the importance of hydration and nutrition. So absolutely, the parents are involved.
So, Coach, what transformation stories can you share from athletes who've gone through the program?
Well, I think for me, it's really what it's about. For me, is that every Sunday at 5:00 when we open the doors and have our trainings, that kids continue to show up. Not because mom said, "Hey, you gonna go today," or dad was like, "Come on, I'm gonna take you to this thing because I want to live my dreams through you." No, it's because they have found a place where they can be confident. They have found a place where somebody cares about them. They have found a place where I generally don't want anything from them, but to want to grow into who God created them to be, right? And so for me, the transformation is just that. It's like 1 Corinthians 10:31, that they're doing it for the glory of God. That's the transformation. They're not doing it for their friends. They're not doing it for a check. They're doing it honoring God by giving them the gift and doing it because of His glory.
Absolutely.
And transformation for me is them continuing to come back and eager to come back.
But is it one story like it was one kid, it was just a bad situation. He had a bad attitude, didn't want to listen, didn't want to do the assignments or the workouts. and then he, after being in the program, did he turn around? I mean, you have a story like that?
Oh yeah, I mean so before discipleship hoops back in 2002 when my brother and I first started, it was called
Mhm.
Rise. It was called Rise Hoops,
Okay.
and that was our niche was to outreach for kids without fathers, and
I love
so
it.
they they knew everything, right? Regard 12, 13, 14 years old, even
Mhm.
back then they knew everything, and we would say it's what you learn after you know it all, and they count. Uh, but so they always thought they were bigger than the program, better than the program, and so we um essentially like really made I don't want to say we made an example out of them, but what we did was we sat them down while everyone else got to continue to move forward, and
Mhm.
made them watch, right? And so nothing almost a kid more than being embarrassed in front of his peers.
Yeah.
And that everyone was like, we should kick him out the program. He's running the program, and we knew that it was something deeper there. Right, a lot of times when
Yeah.
kids go through this is because it's their coping mechanism is to
Mhm.
reach out, launch out, to be aggressive and all those types of things. So
Right.
understanding that, and then that kid ended up transforming, and then he still communicates with me today. We still talk today, and he was like he still remembers life lessons that we taught him back then.
And he's doing well.
He's doing well. Yep.
That's
Three
awesome.
just had another baby, married. He's in the Air Force.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in
That's
the Air Force.
awesome.
Yep.
Great job, coach and brother. Great job. You know, I just realized a few years ago, because I'm thinking about bullies from when I was little, or kids that was just like really, really mean. And as a child, you don't understand it, but when you're an adult, you're like, they probably was being bullied at home, abused. You have no clue what was going on, and they were just acting out what happened to them and treating, because that's what they learned.
Yep.
And it's just, it's a blessing for people like you and your brother and many others who are mentors and coaches who truly, truly care about the person, and not just how many, triple doubles he can have. That's
Right.
that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
That is so great. Um, Coach, can you share a specific instance where a biblical principle directly impacted your coaching approach?
Man, it's
So many.
we could be on here all night, but I mean, I think that that really it's really about me being vulnerable in front of them,
Hmm.
like that. And for me, like that's what it is, like me owning up, like, hey, you know what, that was my bad, I told you wrong, right, my mistake, right. And then like seeing that I'm not just you know beating on my chest roaring all the time, like,
Right.
like I feel sad, right, like I feel down, myself at times. So that it's okay, right? It's okay because we
Mhm.
serve a God that he ain't never there when you want him, but he always shows up right on time. And
Right.
so it's really that. It's really just me being vulnerable, not afraid
Mhm.
to be vulnerable in front of them, and show them, a little softness sometimes, right? That it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to hug.
Yeah.
It's okay to be emotions, to have emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's okay to have emotions, but emotions should not have you, and they should have their place in your life. And I notice a lot of kids are really emotional,
Right.
um, just very emotional, and it's just like you said, it's just it's okay to cry, it's okay to vent and be upset, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah. We teach that to feel the feeling, but don't become the emotion.
I love it.
Right? Like it's
I
okay.
love it.
It's okay to feel it. It's okay to own it. It's okay to embrace it, but just don't
Mhm.
become it. Don't let it succumb. Don't let it take over you.
I love that.
Yep.
Because you can make terrible decisions when you're emotional.
Right.
Terrible. So coach, we're going to move on to one of your books. You have wrote a couple of books, and one of them is Beyond the Court: Raising Athletes with Faith, Character, and Purpose. And it sounds like a wonderful resource for parents, coaches, and mentors. Tell us what inspired you to write Beyond the Court.
So again, like I have, I have an older daughter that played overseas. I have a son that's on scholarship right now playing in college. I have a rising eighth grader that's playing right now in on the projection. And so it came from that, right? It's like, man, lessons that I learned from my oldest daughter now that I'm dealing with my eighth grader, like, man, somebody should have put that in a book. And I was like, wait a minute, I know somebody that knows.
Me.
Right. And so that's where, that's where it came from, to just to give parents the tools of how to raise athletes, right? How to raise athletes that are spiritually grounded, that are mentally strong, like morally disciplined.
Yeah. So before we go any further, how do you have somebody that played overseas? You look 25. Are you serious?
Yeah, my oldest daughter is 26.
Wow. You look great, brother. You look
Yeah.
great. So, Coach, who did you have in mind? Well, you already told me. No, I can ask you this. Who did you have in mind when writing this? Was it for parents, coaches, athletes, or all three?
All parents.
Parents,
It
okay.
started out as a book for parents, like a blueprint, a life lessons that I learned. Because a lot of the youth that I deal with, they're not young parents, but they're young athletes, fifth grade,
Right.
grade, eighth grade. So they're just coming into the basketball really world, and so it was originally written for them, just to give them some guidelines, a blueprint of just how to navigate, how to navigate high school sports, how to navigate AAU, right? How to navigate, and not just on the court, but all the other things that come along with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So, Coach, how do you teach athletes to find their identity in Christ instead of in their sport?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, tell them that one day the sport gonna go away. That's it. Okay, so if you can't play this sport, if you can do anything else in the world besides play basketball, what would you be doing? And now let's walk through how would you get to that, right? So when we bring kids in, we're not just rolling the ball out and getting 200 shots of, like we're doing devotions,
Right.
writing in journals, like we're reading scripture, we're praying together. So like we really do all those things, because like I say, like I don't know scoring averages, right? That honestly I don't. Or even the kids I coach, I tell them all the time, like, I mean, I can easily go find anybody. I can go find a kid at Walmart that's 6'3" and can shoot. Right. So that's right, that's easy. Right, they easy to find. But what type of man are you becoming? What type of woman are you becoming?
Mm-hmm. So, have you had, and I'm sure you have, what is it like dealing with children who have never opened a Bible, never prayed before, uh, never read a scripture? What's that experience like? Was it? I know it's foreign to them, but were some able to just fall in, or was it hard? Was it a challenge for some?
It's a challenge, but believe it or not, I like it that way, because like I say,
Mm,
what you learn after you know it all, right? So they're blank slates.
I love it.
And so really we could just start from the beginning.
Hmm.
Commandments, just something as simple as learning the commandments,
Yeah.
and then building from there. So I mean, yes, it's a challenge, because again, get them to put their cell phones down, get them
Hmm.
to not want to dribble the basketball and just get in their focus. But really, that's how it started. It started with, hey, back when my brother and I, we gave the young men a ball and let them go play. And then after 30, 40 minutes, we took the ball away and said, all right, let's talk. Talk for 10, 15 minutes. All right, y'all go play again. All right. Take the ball away, then talk. And that's how you kind of build that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because their attention span is short, number one. And then, yeah, I like that.
Right.
So, what roles does failure play in building character and faith in young athletes?
Again, so you'll learn that I have a lot of quoted messages, right?
Mhm.
And failure is like, it happens, right? Like, it's just like, you really can't hide from failure. Are you gonna face failure? But then it's like, so then what? What's the so what from it?
Mm-hmm.
Then my message has always been like, it's okay to fall. It's not okay to not get back up.
Right.
If you're gonna fall forward. That way you're still one step closer to your goal.
Hello. That's good. That's good to know. That is true though. Right. Don't fall back, fall forward. So that makes a lot of sense. And I'm going back to the draft. A lot of people feel like Shador was a failure because he slid from round 1 to round 5. I mean, he's not a failure. He's in the NFL, number one. That was the goal. Number two, the only thing, if there was a failure, is that he slid from making $34 million a year to $1 million. But I mean, he was born with money, number one. His NIL deal is worth 6.5 million, and he will make more money in the near future. So it's okay. But I don't see that as a failure. I'm like, no, that's crazy. But some people do think it, of social media people. So what are the common mistakes you see parents make with young athletes?
That they're 12 years old and there's an NBA scout in the bleachers watching. that just because they play AAU and they in Texas one weekend, Louisiana the one weekend, Memphis the next weekend, that there's a D1 scholarship waiting for them. Like it's not the reality.
That's true. That is true. I remember this guy I used to date. He was, when I say, one of the coldest basketball players I have ever encountered in my life. He should have been in the league, but because he thought he was so amazing, he didn't want anybody, the coaches, to say anything into him. But instead of his guardians, like, no, you need to listen to the coach, they kept changing him from school to school. Yep. And he did this from junior high to high school, even college. He went to 3 different colleges. And because of his attitude, because he thought he was amazing, and he was, but he just was a little bit too cocky, and his guardians allowed it. So that's definitely a mistake I see with a lot of athletes and their parents. Last question. How can parents and coaches work together to raise athletes of strong character?
Well, first, as a parent, you have to you really have to vet. You have to do research. You really have to truly have a relationship with the coach. Like, you have to know what the coach is like, what their end state is for your child.
Right.
Is it a coach that's just trying to pay the light bill, or is it a coach that you really want to truly fully develop?
You got a point, yeah.
So I think that's the first thing you have to, as a parent, you have to be fully invested in your coach and not just pull up to the gym and drop your child off and go, to Starbucks.
Right.
You have to have conversations and be invested. I think as a coach, like for me, I'm just transparent. What we're doing, this is my expectations, and what do you want? Like asking the parent, hey, what do you want out of this? What do you want to see out of this? And being honest, saying, well, you know what? I'm probably not that person, right? But I know somebody. I know another coach that I can link you up with. They can, what you want, right?
So when an athlete sees that the parent is involved, does he do better? In his sport or the training, or he works a little harder because he know the parent is involved versus the one that the parent just drop them off and pick them up?
Yes and no. It depends.
Okay.
If it's a parent that's trying to coach from the sideline while the coach is coaching, probably not so much. But if it's a parent that's just really just present, then absolutely that can
make a difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
That's awesome. Coach, thank you so much for joining me today. However, before we leave, we play a little game called What You Know.
Okay.
And that's a way for myself and the listeners to get to know the guest better. I'll ask you a few questions, and you choose the one that best fits you.
Okay.
We're going to just have fun. And because we're talking about Christian values with athletes, I wanted to talk about different sport athletes that they let people know that they were Christians on the field and off. So the first one, what Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher is known for his strong Christian beliefs and how he integrates them into his professional life? Is it Clayton Kershaw, Pee Wee Reese, Don Sutton, or Jackie Robinson?
The first thing I want to say is Jackie Robinson, but I think it's Don Sutton.
It's Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton's okay.
Clayton Kershaw. I threw Jackie in there. A former NFL coach who's known for his devout Christian faith and how he has shaped his coaching style and personal life. Is it Lovie Smith, Mike Tomlin, Tony Dungy, or Sean Payton?
Tony Dungy.
You better know that one.
Uncommon.
Right. A former NFL player quarterback who is a prominent figure in the Christian community and often discusses his faith publicly. Is it Deion Sanders, Tim Tebow, Kirk Cousin, or Kurt Warner?
Tebow.
Absolutely correct. A former NFL quarterback. This former player and his wife Brenda are devout evangelical, I can't even say it today, Christians. Is it Tim Tebow, Tony Dungy, Kurt Warner, or Reggie White?
Kurt Warner.
Correct. This Olympian often speaks about her faith and how it has helped her achieve her goals. Is it Marion Jones, Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas, or Savante Stringfellow?
Simone?
Gabby Douglas. You see I threw Savante in there. This former NFL player is known for his strong Christian faith and how he has used it to inspire others. Is it Reggie White, Deion Sanders, Ray Lewis, or Steve Young?
Ooh, Ray Lewis.
Deion Sanders. This late great Green Bay Packer legend was nicknamed the Minister of Defense because of his devout Christian faith. He was also an ordained minister. Was it Jim Brown, Reggie White, Dave Robinson, or Forrest Gregg?
Reggie White.
Correct. Last one. This two-time NBA champion has spoken about the role of his Christian faith in his career. Was it Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Lindsey Hunter, or David Robinson?
David Robinson.
Correct. Coach, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media, as well as tune into your podcast. It's Discipleship Hoops, as well as how they can order your books.
So you can follow me on social media, Jimmie L Lucas, JIMMIEL LUCAS, or on Instagram, Discipleship_Hoops. And to get books and to podcast, Discipleship Hoops podcast, and just go to our website, j5solutions.com.
Awesome. And guys, you can follow. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's say if you have a youth that's looking to, not just become a better basketball player, but also a better person, you can also reach out and we can get them linked up at one of our trainings.
That's awesome. And where are you located?
So we train out of Hartfield Academy in Flowood.
Okay.
But I have a small studio gym in Brandon off of Avalon Way in Old Fanning. Awesome.
Okay. Awesome. And guys, you can follow me on social media. She Say Sports at Facebook. She Say Sports 23 on Instagram. And please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports.
She say sports. She say sports. She say